Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Well, the big old earnings catalyst that was supposed to push Tesla stock to the moon has failed once again, and it's now compounded downwards thanks to a recall happening in China of nearly 50,000 Tesla vehicles. Let's explain what's happening, let's explain what Tesla's response is, what this means for the stock going forward, and well, I may as well also quickly clarify that I'm kind of kidding here. Usually when Tesla reports earnings, it goes down afterwards. So this is really no surprise. If anything to me, this might be something else, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and pull up what is actually happening, what the news is of the day, then Tesla's response, and let's get into the bottom lines. And of course, remember, get your 3 free stocks with Webull. Deposit $100, get 3 free stocks, but you have to use that link down below, right next to the link for life insurance you can get in as little as 5 minutes. Okay, so here's the CNBC cover article that came in this morning that Tesla is voluntarily recalling almost 50,000 vehicles. They are recalling 48,442 of its Model S and X vehicles that were manufactured at the Fremont facility in the United States, but then shipped and sold in China. This is actually good because the worst case scenario here, something that would be really bad for the stock, would be if Tesla is doing a recall on vehicles that were manufactured in China in the Shanghai facility, because Tesla sold a ton of those here in 2020. We'll talk about the numbers of this in just a moment. So in some sense, it's actually good that this has to do with Fremont and that this has to do with older vehicles. I prefer hearing recalls on older vehicles than newer vehicles because a lot of those previous issues could have already been fixed in newer production lines. So this recall here affects 29,000 Model S's and X's produced between 2013 and 2017, another nearly 20,000 Model S's produced between 13 and 18, and together we've got over 48,000 vehicles here that are being voluntarily recalled. Now this apparently has to do with the rear linkages of the Tesla suspension system, which hearing that word means nothing unless you have some mechanic background, which I do not, so I did my best to do a little bit of research on what this part could look like. First, this gives you a little bit of an idea of what a suspension system generally looks like. So you've got sort of the bolt here that, ignore the arrow. The arrow is really misplaced. Think of more of this arm here as sort of the linkage. It links the left side to the right side. And this piece of metal could crack or break. This is specifically what the Tesla part could look like, which if you go to this website here, you'll see exactly that, and you'll see it's about a $250 part. So realistically, we're talking about maybe a $400 repair here. Now, that's nothing to laugh at. A $400 repair times about 48,000 vehicles and the bad publicity works out to a $19.2 million hit. And remember, if Tesla's netting somewhere around, let's see, right now we've got an average selling price for a Tesla of around $52,000. We're gonna take the, bring that to the bottom line. We've got a net profit of somewhere around 9%, which is not so great. That's about $4,680 in profit per car, 19 million. Divided by even just 4,000 here, that works out to the profit of about 4,700 vehicles being poof gone thanks to this recall. So it's really no laughing matter. It is something that definitely hits the bottom line. Although in reality, as a company, Tesla's expected to produce around 150,000 vehicles in this next quarter. So it'll get absorbed as shareholders. We certainly won't notice any difference. The fact that Tesla is down over 2% over this is really just sort of a tiny little ember of flames being fanned by media and analysts who are saying, see, Tesla, bad quality. See, a roof blew off a Tesla the other day. And I kind of, in fairness, have to give it to the analysts. Tesla, is ramping up its production so quickly. There have been quality control issues many times before in the past. This is not a surprise with Tesla. Tesla is certainly trying to do whatever it can to improve quality, but Tesla doesn't have the finesse of that BMW or Mercedes quality just yet. And they're also not really selling the vehicle as having that sort of finesse. They're trying to get more into that lower cost market. So to me, putting all of this together, it's not uncharacteristic of Tesla to run into these sort of issues or these expectations. I think the stock is selling off a little bit more than it should. Now, Tesla has responded to this. Let's go ahead and look at Tesla's response. Quick note, it is worth seeing here that according to a CNBC article, Tesla has sold 79,908 units in its Shanghai facility for the Model 3s this year in the first 9 months of 2020. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and look at Tesla's recall response here. Their initial recall response actually started in August and September. So this letter is a little bit dated, and they've actually increased the recall. See, this letter actually only addresses 18,000 vehicles, but the CNBC article has, well, up to 48,000 vehicles, 48-ish vehicles being recalled. So certainly a lot more. But what's interesting here is what Tesla does is Tesla says here, look, China is basically telling us, y'all need to do the recall. And China could dispute the recall, but instead of going through the costly fight, they are just saying, you know what, we will just voluntarily do the recall and we will make the change. See, Tesla has released this statement that they believe the cause of this issue is actually A, very minor, and B, caused by driver error or driver abuse. Now, I don't know if this is like the best PR for Tesla because it's kind of like coming across as like, it's not our fault, it's their fault. Which, I don't know if that's the best PR, but hey, that's what they're going with here. Tesla stated Tesla has not determined that a defect exists, so they do not believe that a defect exists. Instead, they believe the root cause of the issue is driver abuse, including that driver usage and expectation for damageability is uniquely severe in the China market. So this is also interesting. It's kind of like they're saying here that they believe the Chinese are worse drivers or the roads are worse or maybe there's more off-roading going on, in certain parts of China. I have no idea. But these are their words, not mine here, okay? I'm trying to, they're the ones saying this is uniquely severe in the China market. I'm just trying to understand, like, what could that possibly mean? Now, they do say here, if the China inputs an abuse load, AKA curb impact, a severe pothole strike, which sort of implies those rougher roads, I don't know, curb impact, that's kind of like what you're parking and you crash into the curb. Okay, then parts may be damaged. I don't know, this could also be Tesla kind of just going, it's not really an issue, like it rarely happens, which is what they statistically try to show here anyway. They say that Tesla has not determined the existence of an unreasonable risk to motor safety. They also say the occurrence of failures in China is about 0.1%, and elsewhere it's under 0.05%. And this remains exceedingly rare. And if failure does occur, it's immediately apparent to the driver. Which, just to understand that, they are spending over $19 million, my guesstimation here, to repair an issue. And even if we took 50,000 vehicles here, and they said 0.1%, so we gotta go 0.001, this could potentially affect 250 vehicles in China. Now, they say that this has not caused any injuries or crashes or deaths or fires or anything yet, but they are voluntarily spending the $19 million to fix 50,000 vehicles to prevent the damage to potentially up to 250 vehicles. So, to me, this does not seem like it's an existential crisis for Tesla. If anything, this is another little buying opportunity for me. I love it when there's negative press for Tesla because obviously I'm a Tesla bull. I think Tesla's at the beginning of their exponential growth curve. I see a lot more growth coming for Tesla. Think about it, folks. Right now we're producing 145,000 vehicles per quarter. Tesla's going to ramp that. In the next 2 to 3 years, give them into 2023 to be safe, they're going to ramp that to between 500 and 600, 700,000 vehicles per quarter. That's a big X. I mean, if we go to 650,000, let's say even 650,000 divided by where we are now, about 145,000, that's about a 4.5x production increase. And I think that's when we're really gonna see that scale coming in. Now, certainly there'll be more competition, so Tesla needs to stay ahead of the game. I can't call this a setback for Tesla other than a little bit of a PR crisis, but this will blow over. I'm still long Tesla, so there you have what's going on with Tesla, why is Tesla dropping, what you should do in my opinion. And as always, take advantage of the coupon code for the amazing courses linked down below. The coupon code does expire on the 25th, so I'd love to see you there. And folks, we'll see you in the next video.